me, and soon you'll see. Everyone is a friend of me.
So we'll let you know when we're off. He's not amused by animals.
I want to go home.
Hmm? Why do you want to go home, right?
Whoa, look at that guy over there. Hey, look at that guy over there.
Did you guys see it? My friend was saying, what does he want? He said, oh, I like
We're gonna get a Yeah. I just saw a tiny shark.
What's that? Oh, your fish.
It's in the fish tank.
Do you like it?
The fishing methods that are used when you are controlling
Shark fin industry. Currently, Arctic reef sharks in the wild are listed as near threatened, which means they are not in immediate risk of becoming extinct. However, due to threats to wild populations, it is likely that they will become threatened in the future.
Due to things such as shark finning and various other activities that affect sharks, and the fact that black-tip reef sharks have a very small head range, they don't tend to migrate far from where they actually live.
Your favourite part?
The slower the fish swims, the more harder it is to find. Slower, like they say it's so hard to find. Like that, this one right here, that's quite hard to find. Look, he's actually opening his mouth. See it? It's like this. See? He's opening his mouth. He looks dumb.
But they have made their way into urban areas, much like foxes in this country. And they do live off of our rubbish. They are omnivores, much like our meerkats. So they not only eat fruit and vegetables or fish, whatever they can find really in the wild. If they're in urban areas, they'll be well known for doing bin raiding, just like that. So they're quite happy eating mouldy old burgers and hot dogs and things like that as well. So they are kind of affectionately known as trash pandas because they're black and white and they do go through people's trash quite often. But that is not all the trouble they cause, because raccoons are actually incredibly smart animals, and to pair up with their intelligence they have insanely sensitive hands as well. And you stick an animal with sensitive hands and a big brain together and you wind up with an absolutely perfect problem solver. And the problem to a creature like a raccoon is something like a locked window or a cat flap which they can't get in through. And they are actually well known to work out puzzles like that. They've been known to break open cat flaps, break open simple doors, locks and windows, things like that, to help themselves into people's cupboards. So they do get into an awful lot of trouble. But they're not only known as trash pandas, they also have another name. If you literally translate the German word for raccoon into English, it comes to the name washing bear. And what you're seeing now is why they have that name. It looks like she's washing, doesn't it? So she's not actually doing that though. It's a bit strange because raccoons, as I said, they have very, very sensitive hands. So if they come across something new and interesting, the first thing they'll do is they'll run over to some water and throw that interesting object into that water so they can feel it a lot easier and juggle it around in the water. So at the moment she's feeling around with her mealworms and her treats, trying to find out what it is, and if she thinks it's tasty, she will then eat it, which she most often does, seeing as she goes through bins and things like that as well. So if any of you guys have seen the video of a raccoon putting some cotton candy into the water, that is why she was doing it. She was trying to find out what that was, and of course it dissolved. So it's not very nice for the poor raccoon, that video, but it's still quite entertaining to watch. But that's why they're known as washing bears. They are simply trying to find out what it is they've got in their hands. It's not because they wash, but don't think that means they're a dirty animal. They're actually
Yeah, and cut off.